I've got a lovely roll of pretty filament here, and we're going to put it to the test, so stick around. Hey folks, my name is Rick and welcome back to Directed Tech. Today we're going to do a quick little review of this filament here that was sent to me by JAMG. I don't know if I pronounced that right. If somebody knows, tell me about it. But anyway, let's take a look at what we got here. This is some matte PLA rainbow. It's a 1 kilogram spool. Looks like printing temps are 200 to 230 degrees. They recommend bed temps between 45 and 60 and printing speed from 40 to 100 millimeters per second. So let us crack into this box and see what they sent. So we have, that's kind of cool. I guess if you want to bag your filament back up after you've used some of it, they send you a little bag there. And then again, we have very similar, pretty much the exact same sticker there. And then we take a look at the filament. It's kind of nondescript here from the top, but when we get a look at the sides here, we can see this is a kind of a rainbow spring color. So we're going to go ahead and pop this into one of the printers, do some calibration prints, and then we'll see what we can create. And when we're all done with that, I will let you know what I think of this filament that they sent. Now, before I move on, I want to know, how do you break into your filament? Razor blade, screwdriver, fingers? Drop a comment and let me know what your preferred tool for unvacuuming your filament. For me, it's a razor blade. So there we go. All right, let's get this in the printer and get it calibrated. Did you know that the good folks at BIQU, or Big Tree Tech, have already made Cryogrip plates for the Bambu Lab H2D, and they even have the QR codes already on them, so you shouldn't have any kind of a error. So this is the Cryogrip Pro Glacier, and we are going to use this to test out this filament that was sent from Zhanghe. Okay, so we have got our first couple of test prints done now, and we're going to take a quick look. So let me switch over to my overhead camera here, and we started with our temp tower, and this is looking pretty good. We can see our overhangs. We do have some vertical artifacts, but that's probably more to do with the printer than anything else. And so there we can see our various overhangs at the different temperature. And we've got that slight color gradient based on the filament itself. So for the future tests, I'm going to go with 205. I think that's where this seems to be printing best. And so I've set my first layer at 10 just for adhesion, and then 205 for the rest. So this has become one of my favorite tests, just to see how well things are dialed in. It's got a number of metrics, I guess you could say. I'll put a link in the description to show. I'm not going to go into all the different things, but it's got a bunch of different tolerance tests here. A couple which are down here at the bottom. So if your settings are pretty good, you'll be able to do things like this, unscrew these parts with the tool that gets printed and see what you end up with there. So that part printed out pretty well. We've got this center piece here at I think 0.15. And now, to be fair, I did have to pop this with a screwdriver because I probably would have broken this if it were more dialed in. I'd be able to do that, but most of the prints, I think I've only had one that actually was able to do this, and I have one that is still completely fused. But again, you get some interesting results, but that tells you how well things are dialed in. We've also got a tolerance test with whether or not this rotates, and if things are working well, there's this pin that will actually drop here. So again, pretty good test. I didn't even think about checking this part. We've got this little, so at 0.25, whether or not we're able to open this and see that little guy in there. So I'd say our filament is pretty decent. We've got good looking overhangs, and I just want to compare. This is one that I printed on my A1 using some, you've seen this in the past, UJoy Bio 3D filament. And we've got some pretty significant artifacts here from the overhangs. I have another one. I think I printed, I don't remember if I printed this on the P1S. Might have done on the P1S, but very similar. This is a Elegoo PETG Rapid, for example. But so anyway, just wanted to show those as well. But now that we have, I think we've got a pretty good filament settings dialed in. Now we'll get on to some fun prints. All right, we have another print. It is fresh off of the printer. Pop over here. Grab this off. And here we go. Don't you just love that color? This blue. And look, like I said, man, I tell you, these Cryogrip plates, they just stick. They stick so well. So let's swap over here to our overhead cam and take a look at what we got here. We can pop those off. They also have a really nice texture that they leave, especially the frostbite. I can't wait until they release a frostbite plate for the H2D, because it's got an even cooler. Let's give this a little bend. There we go, and those pop right off. All right, let's take a look at what we've got here. So I printed these, or I got the files from Maker World, and of course I'll put these in the video description, but they just take a little battery operated tea light here. So throw those on the stand, and then the little cover goes on top, and voila, there you go. Isn't that cool? These would be even cooler if the tea lights were flickering, but I don't have any battery operated tea lights at the moment, and I really wouldn't recommend that you put real flame candles in a plastic printed enclosure. But yeah, this is it's a really neat print, and the filament looks spectacular. Let's bring the overhead cam back in and take a closer look. Take a look at the color, and we can see here we've got this nice matte finish on these prints. Bring this down a little bit, get that bright light out of there. But now these were printed at the same time, as you saw, coming off the build plate. So the colors are very similar, but that's pretty cool. So far, I am really impressed with this filament. All right, we have one more print. It finished up yesterday sometime. So, right off the Cryogrip plate, come back over here closer to the microphone. Let's pop this off and take a look. And let me tell you, this is where things really shine with this filament. So let me switch over here to the overhead cam and look at that color. So when we have something where we have that, gradual transition, something like a vase or a larger character or anything like that, you really get to see the color that comes out in this print. And it is really a pretty filament. You can see down here we've got some problems with the overhangs, but again, that is, I think the H2D has some issues with the cooling fans. I know, I think it's Functional Print Friday. He's been doing some great videos. So if you take a look at that, but again, not a problem with this filament. But man, this is just so pretty. And this, I probably shouldn't have printed this out of this filament because it's made to fit inside here. So I will never get to see. And this is just a like a pencil holder. So this is going to sit on my desk, and it's just a very pretty print. But again, just look at that gradual transition in the colors. And this matte PLA, it really hides layer lines a little better than what you would see with a like a high gloss, like PETG or any of your like a glossy thing. So there is our final print from that. So overall, I would say this has been a pretty successful filament. All right, so final thoughts on this filament. Let me move that out of the way a little bit. From JAMG? I don't know. Roy, thank you for sending this to me. He reached out. He said they are actually a supplier for many brands in China that just rebrand their filament. They're not very well known otherwise, but he wanted to, get it out there, let some people try it out and test it. So I am definitely giving this filament a thumbs up. I did not have any issues whatsoever. Like you saw, I did a couple of test prints there, kind of got things dialed in. You probably wouldn't even need to with the Bambu. You could probably use their stock PLA settings, although I lowered the temperature a bit, but really happy with this filament. Now, let's take one last look while we are just to do I want to be transparent and fair. I pulled up, this is the page, so $20.99 is what you would pay in the US for this particular filament. And this is the rainbow filament, and if you do single colors, you're looking at $18.99 for that. So a regular 1 kilogram spool. And I did a search on matte PLA filaments, and it looks like they are priced in the same price range. So you can see these matte PLA filaments are about the same. There's a couple that are like rainbow that may be a little cheaper. There are some rainbow that are the same price, and there are some rainbow that are more expensive or quite a bit more expensive, like you can see there, that conjure. So yes, definitely a thumbs up from me. I think this is a fine filament. So if you are in the market for a matte rainbow PLA or just a regular rainbow PLA, I can definitely say that I don't think you will be disappointed with using this brand. So again, thank you for reaching out and sending me that. And if there are any other companies out there that want to, take a shot, I don't say yes to everybody. I'm planning a video here in the near future on whether or not you can trust YouTube reviewers. And I think you would be surprised at the number of things that most of us probably turn down just because I have spent probably, even though I'm in the same clothes, I've been putting this back on just for continuity in the video, but about a week I've been printing with this filament off and on. So it takes a lot of time to do a video like this. And if it's not something that I think is going to interest you, my channel subscribers, then I just politely decline to do a review. So anyway, there you have it. That is my thumbs up review of this filament. I would love it if you would subscribe if you haven't already done so. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the little notification bell, and please subscribe. And if you haven't already watched the Bambu Lab H2D review that I released not too long ago, remember you still have an opportunity to enter for the A1 mini giveaway that we're doing. I think we just crossed 4,700 subscribers. When we get to 5,000, we will close that off and we will pick a winner. So if you haven't watched that, go take a look at that video and see if you are eligible. You're gonna have to do a little bit of work for me, but see if you can be the lucky winner of a Bambu Lab A1 Mini 3D printer. As always, I've enjoyed the time that we get to spend here together on the channel, so let's just keep on learning, burning, printing, and growing together. Take care, everyone.